this is Agustina. Welcome to our third Booktube. In this opportunity, I will work with my classmate Magalí. We will work on two books that are The Boy in the Striped Pajamas and Humanis. So let's begin. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas is a masterpiece written by John Boyne. It is situated in Poland in the 1940s and is closely related with the historical background of that age, when the huge persecution and genocide known as Holocaust took place. The main character of the story is a 9-year-old commandant's son called Bruno. The story begins when he figures out that due to his father's job, they were all moving to a new house far from where they were living in that moment, that was Berlin. Later in the new house, Bruno spent entire days looking to that men and children dressed on striped pajamas through his bedroom window and wondering why a fence would separate them and inhibit him to play with them. Having decided to explore, one day Bruno heads to the fence and meets a boy from the other side of it. They were surprised because of their similarities and different life stories, and both ends up as friends. Since then, every afternoon they secretly meet together and talk with the fence in between. Up until one day, Bruno decides to cross the fence camouflaged in a striped pajama to undertake their very last adventure together. This story is told in a childish tone and is finely detailed in order to make the reader set the mind in that epoch and makes you feel what living in the Holocaust period was like. It is also full of implicit value teachings, and that is why, rather for children and for adults, I will utterly recommend reading it.
Hi, I'm Magalí, and I'm going to describe the historical background of the novel The Boy in Striped Pajamas, and which was the Holocaust. It was a period in history at the time of World War II, from 1939 to 1945, when millions of Jews were murdered by the Nazis, led by Adolf Hitler. They were murdered only for who they were. During this massive genocide, they were adopted hundreds of laws, decrees, and regulations. For example, they lose many civil rights. For example, they weren't able to vote. They lose their citizenship. They weren't able to study, and many schools closed, and also they weren't able to stay in public places, like for example cafes, restaurants, cinemas, and also they have a curfew, and if they broke them, maybe they were killed. Also they have to have a special identity, and usually they put a J in it, and another things were that they have to change the names to Sarah or Israel, and also the Nazis, the militaries, were able to enter to their houses and let them go outside and without any reason or explication. This is one reality, but also the book describes the concentration camps, which were unimaginable, and we can read, for example, that the Jews were treated like prisoners. They weren't able to take a shower, they were able to eat anything, they work all day, they were like, I don't know, prisoners, less than prisoners. In other words, it was an atrocity and a huge genocide who killed a lot of innocent people, and this book tries to make us see this reality. Now I'm going to describe Lester Herrick, the main character of the short story Human Is by Philip Dick. And in the story, he is the husband of Jill Herrick, a comprehensive wife. Physically, he seems to be average age because in the story he is described like an average man, so I assume that. Maybe he's in his 30s or 40s because his wife, Jill, make reference to they weren't assault for having babies, and his face can be imagined as a malicious face because he has this passionate gray eyes, and his thin lips only smile in a cold way, so it is like a portrait of a malicious man. His short hair matched perfectly with his hat, and he usually wore smart clothes, and especially the day of the trial he was wearing his coat, and ivory top cane, a soft gray suit, and shiny black shoes. As for his personality, he was a despicable man because he did not love his wife and treat her like really badly, and only he wanted her for cleaning and taking care of him. So in other words, he was inhuman because he was cold, ruthless, and ambitious. After the trip, he completely changed in a positive way because he was gentle, always smiling, his warm eyes shining when he saw Jill, and also he now wanted to spend time with her, like eat with her, listen to music, and he wasn't a workaholic anymore. And besides, he was relaxed and tolerant. Lester worked in toxicology, doing new poisons for the military and for military purposes, and he have many goals in this, doing poisons. At the beginning of the story, the character is negligible because his bad manners and the way he was with the people around him. But then the alien took his mind and take place in his body, so it is like a completely change. But we have to take into account that that is not him anymore. But personally, I think the story led a strong and powerful message because it tells us that people does not change from night to the morning, so it's almost impossible. But I really enjoy the story and I take the message, so I think it was really interesting, easy to read, like it is short but it has a lot of action, and I like it. I enjoy a lot.
It is known that being married is a seriously taken decision in everyone's life. And although many people are in favor of getting married, many others hold that disadvantages on this are heavier. But what could Mistress Jill think of after her story with his husband in Human Haze? One major advantage of being married is the company that a partner provides you. This is why Mistress Jill in Human His ends up by telling the researchers lies for her husband in order to stay with him and then to share their lives and plans together. Furthermore, being married also provides one senses of self-assurance, of happiness and confidence. On the other hand, a marriage can turn into a tiring and stressful situation, as it was Carrick's case When a couple don't really get on one with another, constant arguing is produced. Uh, this can make you feel lonely, depressed, angry, and can even lead to rupture. Moreover, it also reduces, if not bans, one's independence. For married people, it's not very simple to travel alone, to work abroad, or even to plan by themselves without consulting his or her partner's opinion. This was just the case when Mr. Herrick didn't allow his wife to accompany him on his trip. All in all, marriage can be a really positive issue as long as the couple relationship is healthy and both of them roots the same direction.